Hello and namaste. No doubt you are watching this video because your parents think you are ready to learn about the sex. But they cannot communicate this with you because it is inappropriate for your parents to talk about these things with their offspring. This video will tell you everything you need to know about the sex. Just by saying the word out aloud, the sex, you can understand we are very progressive and very honest about the sexual education. For this reason, your father and mother, in that order, have outsourced the sexual education to us, the organization responsible for graduating adolescents in the sexual mindfulness. Whether you are a teenager who is getting married tomorrow or a 35-year-old virgin who is halfway through their postgraduate medical degree, you are most certainly curious about how the sex happens. Don't worry, because everything we'll be telling you is the fact. We only teach the traditional method of the sexual education that has been taught for thousands of generations. And the proof is in the paneer. There is a reason why Indians make up 18% of the world's population. So to help us learn in a fun way, I'd like to introduce to you my little helper, Pinky Ponky. Please pay attention to Pinky Ponky as he teaches you about the sex. Hello and namaste. My name is Pinky Ponky and I am an Indian government sanctioned educator in the sexual education. There are a lot of rules that every Indian boy and girl must think of before we starting talking about the sex. Rule number 1. You must never have the sex. That's right, Pinky Ponky, because sex is a distraction, especially when you are studying at the school. Think about who the top 3 high-achieving students are in your school. Yes, they are no doubt Indians and unattractive Asians. Because all the white boys and girls are running around having the sex all the time, it is distracting them from their studies. Impure thoughts about the sex can clog the mind chakra, blocking knowledge from entering the brain, and that is a fact. Rule number 2, you must finish your studies and come at the top of the class. Pinky Ponky is right. The more top of the class you are, the better you will be at the sex. Look at this graph. It is a very accurate representation of the correlation between class ranking and sexual performance. For example, I finished at the top of my class. But China makes up 19% of the world's population. You Indian boys and girls are not studying hard enough. That is very true, Pinky Ponky. You need to study harder in the school. Rule number 3. Your father and mother, in that order, will find you a nice Indian boy or girl to marry. Arranged marriages are the preferred method of finding companionship because your parents know the sexual chemistry better than you know yourself. Look at this graph. It is a perfect representation of the areas of your life that your parents are experts in and should therefore exercise their full dominion. That's right. Listen to your parents. It is better for you and better for India. Rule number 4. After marriage, then you fall in love. The sexual and love chemistry between two people happens only after a commitment has been made and recognized before God. Which God doesn't matter. Pick one, pick your favorite. But after a marriage, it is important to realize that it may take a little bit of time for the love and the chemistry to begin. Some chemical reactions are very quick and some are very slow. Just like if you submerge a piece of metal into water, nothing happens. But slowly over time, the metal will begin to rust. And there's your chemistry. Chemistry is my favorite. Mine too, Pinky Ponky. I came at the top of the class in the chemistry. Rule number 5. When you are ready to start a family with your life partner, then you can have the sex. You can have the sex once, twice. We think 2 kids is enough for happy family, providing one of them is a son to carry on the family name. Having the sex any more than 3 times is ill-advised as India's population is becoming a liability and adding to economic inequality. So there you go. That is everything you need to know about the sex. If you need to remember only one thing, remember rule number 1. Pinky Ponky will now read out some frequently asked questions. The first question is from Vishal. He is a 35-year-old analyst living with his mother in Kolhapur, India. And he asks, so how does the sex happen? That is a very good question, Vishal. And many of you are still wondering what are the specific mechanics of the sex. The Indian government's official answer to this is that you pray to God and he will give you instructions. Which God doesn't matter. Pick one, pick your favorite. Except Hanuman. Don't ask him. He won't tell you because he doesn't know. Pinky Ponky, what is the next question? The next question is from Mandagini. She is 22 and she is ready to start child production so that she can grow her family business in 10 to 12 years time. Mandagini asks, but what about the Kama Sutra? Mandagini, the Kama Sutra was a text released by the Indian government to increase the interest of white people in Indian culture and tourism. We do not recommend engaging in any of the actions in the Kama Sutra without private health insurance with full physiotherapy cover. The National Health Department's advice is to only perform the sex in the marriage position, also known as the missionary position or the insemination station. And that concludes the sexual education lesson. If you have any questions or feedback, do not hesitate to email the Minister for the Human Resource Development, who is my boss. And he is my best friend. Yes, Pinky Ponky, we are all very good friends who are having fun learning about, but not doing, the sex. Thank you for your attention. Jai Hind.